Hello everyone, SiegeLink here, back with another Company of Heroes 2 replay. And I'm going to stop talking for a little bit of an intro. Usually I'd have a little bit of an intro, but I want to wait here, because as you can see, this guy was AFK at the start, and now he doesn't actually build any units. Now, this might seem like he's just throwing, which for the most part he is, but this is actually a weirdly effective strategy. Because the way that this game works is that the more units you have, the slower your manpower builds up. So you can see his sort of rate. I think that might be like how much you get per minute. I think is a 293 and mine's 278, and I have 2 and he has 1. So I'm sending these engineers to cap, and then I think he builds a one of these two. I think it's special rifle. Yeah, special rifle command. And basically, this strat was actually weirdly effective, because what this allowed him to do is just completely bypass conscripts and just immediately get penal battalions, which are much more effective, which caused his infantry, like, by default to be better than mine. And the thing is, this is actually probably more effective against OKW than against Wehrmacht, because they have Volksgrenadiers that cost 260 compared to Grenadiers, which cost 240. If I was playing Wehrmacht, I would be able to get Grenadiers out quicker. And I actually don't cap that much more than him, honestly. He caps 3 points. I cap 5 points. And I'm currently capping 3 additional ones. Cap the gas, then the VP. Now once I've capped that, I decide to just get rid of his cover. So yeah, he's got just went straight for penal battalions, as well as a light scout car, which he actually has a little bit of a buff for. Increased armor penetration, which is kind of a unnecessary one, because you're never going to use it to get rid of other vehicles for the most part. Now this by itself is not really that good, but if maneuvered very well, which he did this game, as well as with penal battalions, it's very effective. So another reason that penal battalions are better than conscripts is because with conscripts you have to upgrade both of these to be able to use them. With these, they have satchel charges, and they don't need to be upgraded. That was a weird retreat path. Not sure why they didn't go around that way. Now, luckily for him, I didn't have enough ammunitions yet to get a, I can't remember the name of it. Yeah, he's putting most of his pressure on the center here. Now, he has a satchel charge to blow up the center, which I was actually very happy about, because I actually don't like that house in the center. Because the thing is, he's not playing like any static defense, he's playing full-on aggressive, which is kind of how I like to play. I like to play that with just with like 1 or 2 machine guns to lock down certain areas, and that's about it. Here he actually goes into my base trying to kill this. But I've got pretty much all my units there healing, so that's not going to work for him. This actually didn't cut me off, because I did still have this VP. It was kind of weird that he didn't take that, he just went right for the VP, when he already had guys on it. I'm honestly kind of surprised they're in it, given how many times in this game, like, units are barely not in it. I'm surprised that they are actually in it. Now, currently, the only squads out in the field are the engineers, which means that they can't really fight for themselves. So I've got two kind of damaged Volksgrenadiers here. These guys, I think, were actually fully reinforced. But, okay, looks like they're one off. But, I didn't have a field hospital, which meant that they were a lot lower than they necessarily should have been. I did get a molly on him, and he actually just kind of stood in it. That I did not remember. He's lucky he lived there. I kind of just wanted to trade and see how close it would be. I had a feeling I was going to lose this fight, but it was also kind of low, so I felt like I could at least do some damage. But I was a lot closer to my opponent's base than I realized. Because this is quite a bit more open than this area over here. Like, there's that opening, and then this is this opening. Sort of like half open here. Kind of similar to this area. But I am able to take this area, because even though he did get a decent infantry count back up, he's even got guards now. He did lose an engineer, I'm not sure exactly where, but I did get it very low, but it wasn't in that moment. And yeah, he doesn't do that good of a job capping. He does, given how many units he has, but he just doesn't have many units, so he is limited in that regard. And I did also take this VP. I was very good on the VP and gas this game, which is very crucial when his infantry is better than mine. Just makes me really want to be able to get vehicles out. I took that gas. I took this VP, and I'm also taking this ammunition, because that's one thing he's had for the whole game. And because he doesn't need to upgrade these, he's able to use nades a little bit more than the Soviets usually are able to, because they have to wait a little bit and usually kind of pick one in the early game, which is pretty much always the mollies. People don't usually get anti-tank until they at least see one vehicle, which he hasn't until now at the 8-minute mark. I do a big push in the center, including with a vehicle. So I'm pushing the left, he's pushing the right. This is actually a cutoff, which I kind of like that this is a cutoff because there's bushes here. I have this point, I have this point, and this kind of makes sense. That's one of the things I think they should do more in the game. If they should make cutoffs, they should make it so you can't like take area through like blocks like this. The VP is cut off, but VPs are the one thing that doesn't matter if they're cut off or not. So I cut them off from it, but I still want to take it to get gas of my own. Now he puts in guards into the scout car, which makes that scout car very effective. Keep my 221 kind of far back. I was also really surprised by how quickly this guy died to just a scout car and guards. Because I thought they were penal battalions, I didn't think that they were guards. Because these are a little bit better than most other guns when it comes to facing like light vehicles. They're still not amazing, but they're pretty decent compared to a lot of other alternatives. Now, is this cut off or not? It's not blinking, so I don't think it's cut off, but this isn't like directly connected via red, which is kind of confusing. Do have another force here that caps this. Doesn't cut him off at all, but it does prevent him from getting those resources, which is pretty big when it comes to, you know, how much better I've been capping wise this game. And his guards are very low. does get that off. I don't think I was looking there. End up losing the Storm Pioneers, which is actually really bad because I just was about to finish this and get a tank going. But because I've been pretty decent on the VPs this game, and I've got a machine gun on one of them now, I've always had pretty much 2 VPs, but I've almost never had 3 VPs, so at the 10-minute mark, he's getting kind of low, and I'm almost at max. And given the fact that he has 2 engineers, I'm surprised that he's not actually repairing this, because he could easily have this at full. And now he's getting a T-70 before I can even get a Lutz light tank, or a armored car for that matter. I don't remember which one I actually went for this game. I am a big fan of the Puma compared to the light tank, because it's just 70 more gas and a decent chunk more manpower. So like, if you think you have a big enough fleet, you can go for the scout car first, just to get it earlier. But the Puma is just a bit more versatile, and it kills earlier too, other vehicles. But also because I knew that he might have a T-70 at some point soon, I wanted to go for the Puma. Because my light tank, I think, is a little bit worse than his. And combine that with a light scout car, and I would be in a slightly outclassed vehicle-wise, so I go for the Puma. I did separate my guys out a little bit to cap the VP, which keeps me at 2 VPs. He took the middle one, I took this top one. Do manage to get Panzerfaust out. And Puma's just about to come out as well. He's not attacking with his scout car, though. And he still hasn't repaired it, which is, again, surprising. Now, he's taken these points over here. He still hasn't gone for the victory point yet, so he doesn't know that I have a MG squad there. His guys are getting mollied here. He knows about it now, though. And this, to me, like, there's no reason these guys should be pinned when they're clearly behind a wall. Like, come on. There should at least be something where, like, if they have cover, they shouldn't get pinned. Was able to get a lot of damage, but he did also reveal where both of his vehicles was. Now this did kind of annoy me, how many shots missed here. Because even though I was far away, I was static as well. That was 3 shots there that missed. And look at that, 1 shot and he's already dead. Now that guy's almost dead. And I really wanted to get the T-70. I had a decent amount of health and I could have fought versus these guys a little longer, but I didn't really want to. So I decided to just retreat and repair. I've killed both vehicles, I don't need to overextend with it. And I didn't see too many infantry, and I knew he had quite a few more, so I didn't push out with this machine gun. I was just like, let's just hold the VPs. As long as we hold the VPs, we're going to win this game. He could have this VP, but at least I wouldn't get triple cap. And with the Puma, I'm going to slowly but surely win it. But I didn't have a Storm Pioneer squad, and that was a big issue. I also didn't have this either. Now this one, I don't know why these guys swapped to here. But yeah, that happened, and the machine guns died. I decided, you know what, I'm high enough HP, I know there's a few guys over here. I can push out with the Puma and retake these areas. So I take the entire right side, including the gas, keeping me ahead in the vehicle count. I don't think I've actually faced this one before. Pushes out with 2 guys. Getting a little low on health. And Veteran C4 unit here. Cut off a big section over here. So he basically only has 1 point here. Because I've taken this middle point and I'm taking this VP, so the ammunitions and the gas are cut off. So he's only got 1 resource spot here. About to get a second. And taking this as well, but I am fighting off against it. So while the Puma was out, I made sure not to lose it and got a Storm Pioneer back at base so I could repair it. Still didn't get this. Now, he had a lot of guys, just pretty much all pushing in the center. Which made me actually kind of surprised that he had a guy over here. Does plant some mines here. And he actually had a really good thing here that made his mines cheaper. I don't know what these are officially called, like bulletins or something. These are commanders. These are just like permanent buffs. It's kind of foolish that he went for the VP before going for this, though, because that's what's cutting him off completely over here. And it's quite a bit easier to cap, too. Went out with the Puma with some Volks Grenadiers around the other side. And some more over here. Two Grenadiers going over there. Got Puma, 2 Grenadiers, and a Storm Pioneer coming this way. Trading pretty equally here. But over here, especially with the Veteran C, I'm going to trade better. Veteran C1 on the Puma. Just kind of pushing him back, not doing too much damage. Dodged out of the way of that. He does at least have some resources now. But I'm taking back this gas, pretty much never allowing him to get double gas, because that's one of the few things that could get him back in this game. And he did, in fact, have this. So he could have probably gotten a T-34-76 out before I did. And this was the moment that kind of confused me a little bit. This is actually, like, you can't actually, like, click it or anything, but this is the replay sort of timer, this little bar here. And as you can see, it's almost done. This is when he quit at 18 minutes, 15 seconds. Now, I have pretty much the whole map covered, and the few points he has over here, even though I don't have them, I am cutting them off. But the thing is, I don't actually have the next tier yet. And even though I have a lot of gas, he does have the next tier. And it wouldn't take too much more for him to get a T-34 out. He could probably actually have gotten a T-34 out around the time that I got a Panzer IV out. Which means that he actually had... He was still behind vehicle-wise, because I would have a Puma and a Panzer IV to his T-34. And I would have had more ammunitions, more to work with, and better veterancy. I actually had veterancy 5 Grenadier this game. I think that was right at the end. Veterancy 4, double veterancy 2, and then veterancy 1. Now, even though he was outnumbered infantry-wise, he had some decent veterancy and some good units here. And he has some good manpower that he could have made another unit and then gotten a T-34 out. And he still has 319 victory points. If I was triple capping him this game and he was down to like 100, I agree with the concede. But he has time and he has the ability to win this game. He just needs to get some good trades going. And he was playing pretty well this game. It's just that I'm not sure if it was AFK or if it was just a weird strategy. It worked off kind of well from the start, but he didn't really capitalize on it quite as much as he could have. So that'll be it for this replay, and I'll see you guys in the next video.